So we're at the point now where we're ready to give it a wind over and crack an injector off. So we'll give that a go. I'm just going to crack this first injector for now because there may already be fuel still trapped in the system. So we may not need to have to bleed them all. Hello and welcome back. That's good, isn't it? Now we know she's a runner, we can crack on. And there's quite a few bits I want to do with the old tractor. First of all, there's issues with the steering. I don't know if you'd actually seen it within the video, but we can't steer the front wheels properly, they keep catching and there's a lot of issues there. So that's one of the things we want to do. But I also want to try and redo the side rails as well, make them look a bit more sort of Fordson majorified, where you've got that nice sort of curved bent channel section, if you will, rather than just a flat bar. So we're going to crack on and get into the video, and the plan is to sort of cover going through the side rails, the front axle, and the wheels. What you've seen on the tractor, they're actually on loan. They need to go back to the original owner, but he's provided us with some alternatives which we can do a bit of work on. Hopefully she'll look a beast. You might have noticed the addition of the flue up here. That's because, I know, a bit of time's gone on since that Will It Start video. We're now getting, well, we're into autumn, approaching winter, so I thought to keep going over the winter, we need a wood burner in here. So this is what we've been on with and created. So we've made this wood burner up out of it. It was an old oil tank. I got it years ago, never used it, and I thought now was the time. So I'll put a picture in here of this roaring away. I've also got the nice WD-40 sign, and when I was at the Shrewsbury Steam Rally I got this poem done as well. Sorry guys, disclaimer time. Some things you're going to see in this video are awesome, but I am not a qualified fabricator or welder. I did a little bit when I was at college, just a little disclaimer, but it is good. One of the other jobs I'm going to have to do is to make a new engine mount. I've actually got the old one here, and when it was sat on the tractor, it wasn't actually bolted down. You had this face bolted to the engine, but this part here, you can see where it's all been cracked. It wasn't actually bolted in, it was just sat on the cross member. So that's something we need to make a new one of, and we'll incorporate that and tie it all into the side rails to give us that added strength as well. We're just going to use a bit of this heavy angle and recreate the front mount for the engine. We'll get it cut, then we'll drill the holes and we'll shape it to suit. Catch you in a bit. That's the new engine mount all bolted up and fitted. Lovely. Just been having to play around with the rails, and the only way I can get clearance around the starter, the oil filters and the alternator is to create a spacer to go in here. It's the only way I can do it. So we're just using some of the material from the old side rail, which is 20mm thick. This is now just cutting the blocks to the right depth. Here we've just marked out and drilled the holes in the side rail so it can bolt up to the packer pieces. We've just test fitted the side rail and we've got our packing piece in there. The plan is I'll weld a piece on top of here and it shoots right over the top and also down this back side as well. So it houses it in nice and clean. We just had a little measure. What we're going to do is put a mitre in here so the rail will kick into here and it'll just give us enough clearance on the alternator, being spaced off the same as the spacer is at the other end. So we just end up with a bit of a clearance there. So it's coming to. On this side, we've got the oil cooler just down in here. We might have to do just a tiny little notch out there, maybe 10mm out the bottom rail. But we're getting there. It's that time again. Let's get miggy with it. With the new side rails all cut and welded and shaped and blended, we now need to reinforce them with some round bar on the back just to give it that added support and strength. We've been getting miggy with it. We've now braced the actual channel section with a load of round bar, like a ladder effect into it to try and get a bit more strength in. We've had to notch out here for the oil cooler. So it's taking shape, we're getting there. You can see she's blended in nicely as well. Looking good. We're having to warm up the front axle because I actually want to widen the stance a little bit to make the wheels and tyres we're going to put on it, and it needs to come out one hole. We're going to have to warm them up and bash them out with the hammer. Quite better off with the axle stand now, just round here. Yeah. What, this one? There's another one around there, isn't there? Let's do it now. It's in this one, it sees, look, it's pivoting on there alright. Loose. I managed to pick up a power steering kit at the Cumbria Steam Gathering on one of the stalls, and I felt lucky. I just spotted it and I thought, I know what that's off a Major. So I managed to pick that up at a reasonable price, so we're going to get that fitted as well. And while I was there, I actually ended up buying pretty much a full stall. And I don't know if you noticed it in the back of the shed, or you'll notice it within the video. In the back of the shed there's a little 3-wheeler 50cc BSA Aerial 3, so that's going to be a future project, maybe after this one or in between. And I don't plan on filming that, but if anybody wants to see it, just leave it in the comments and we'll film that as well. Here we're just preheating the steering arm so we can bend the radius which is needed. I've added the photo of the power steering kit fitted on the Major, and also the picture with the big tyres which are going to go on the wheels. We're going to burn the centres out of and make them fit the tractor. We've now got the centre of the wheel burnt out and ground it up a little bit to clean it up. We've got the centre of the wheel all centred up, and what I've done is use a set of calipers and ascribed a mark right round the outside and just measured from that point to the studs and made sure they were all central. So that's in, it's tacked up, and we'll get that welded in. And the reason I've done this, if we look at the other wheel, the inserts on this one, they've been tacked in and we'll have to cut them out. Which, yeah, that would mate nicely up against the hub, but when we look at the other side, when we look at this side, you're not going to get the studs on properly. I could have just chased a little bit out here, but I just thought we'd do it properly, burn it out and weld the inserts in correctly, do a proper job. I've gone around it with a grinder just to create a bit of a V, which will allow the weld to penetrate in. I'm stood here doing this recording, and I've got the tractor right there where you guys are now, and I'm looking at it and thinking, I've got it all together. They're not that far in the videos, but do I put a little sneak peek of it running at the end and driving? I don't know, we'll see. Stay tuned to the end and let's see if we put it in. I don't know yet, we'll see what happens. She does look well. plate out to make the front axle mounting. That's it all burnt out now. We'll have a clean up with a grinder and see how it looks. That's the plate all marked up and it's ready for drilling. What I've done, I've used this piece of paper and I've made a template of where the holes are just with a dirty thumb. Folded it in half to get the centre line before I put it on the tractor. Now I've marked it on here to give me my hole centres. So hopefully this should be good. With the new wheels all finished and with a new wider stance, now we've got the axle all repaired, she's starting to look the part.